Xbox. I mean, essentially, I troll on like console wars and stuff, and like, like just who cares and all that type of stuff about console wars. Like just play, like I play on everything, so I don't really care. But like you would see like people always going back and forth on console wars. But we are in the real life console wars right now with what is going on with Xbox and PlayStation and Jim Ryan and everything that's come out so far, with them going back and forth publicly about the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal. And one company in PlayStation wants to do everything in their power to block it, and then obviously Xbox wants to make sure that it goes through. But we know what's going on here. Right now, you have the CMA looking for more information. You have these competitive authorities looking to make sure that this deal doesn't affect the market in a way that's going to hurt it and make it anti-competitive. And it's the onus is on Microsoft and Activision Blizzard to be able to prove that that is going to be the case once this goes through. So they go out and they ask third parties what they think. And Sony, obviously being Sony, wants to do everything in their power to block this deal. And the main reason they want to do everything in their power is because they are terrified of the amount of revenue they are going to be losing once this deal goes through. So this is just an article that was published May 7th, 2022, obviously got updated. But Microsoft, they're saying Microsoft may lose $1 billion a year making Call of Duty exclusive. We know they aren't making it exclusive, at least for the next 3 or 4 years. And if they are going to eventually make Call of Duty exclusive, obviously in these next 3 to 4 years, they're going to do everything in their power to get as many people away from PlayStation into the Xbox ecosystem to play the game, and playing through Game Pass, or just, making a Xbox account, buying the game through it, and just making purchases through the store. But PlayStation has a lot more to lose here. You go down here. They were talking about the fiscal year 2021 revenues, and you can see right just from these numbers, the revenues from customers that Activision Blizzard makes in a single year, in a single fiscal year. You have Sony here being the third after Apple and Google at $1.32 billion, which is just insane when you have Microsoft down there at $880 million. Which is far less, and that's going to completely, so you're going to have Sony, once this deal goes through, essentially. See, this is the thing. This is the kicker for this entire deal with Xbox and with Sony. Sony's probably afraid that they are going to lose customers. Sure, that's probably one of their biggest fears, that they're going to lose customers over to Xbox. But the second thing, when you look at these numbers and how much money that Activision Blizzard was making off of Sony, now what they're going to do, what's going to happen is that all Sony is going to be doing, even when keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation, is they're going to be paying Xbox and they're going to be paying Microsoft all of this money, which will help them bolster Xbox Game Pass and help them bolster their ecosystem. So Sony's screwed at the end of the day when it comes to this deal going through. So they want this to be stopped in any way, shape, or form. So I wouldn't be surprised if some more stuff comes out and they continue to try to stop this deal, because like, I didn't think about that angle from it, but they're just going to be, if they want, sure, keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, no problem. Phil Spencer's probably hoping they want to keep it on PlayStation, because at the end of the day, they're going to be making tons of revenue off of Sony themselves that they can take and just throw right back into the Xbox ecosystem. So essentially, Sony's going to be paying Xbox, Microsoft to help them grow their own ecosystem, which will eventually take more players away from other places like PlayStation and like Sony. And that side of it is probably another reason why Sony really, really wants this deal to not go through. And we know what Jim Ryan said with everything, with his statements about it being an inadequate deal, and that basically they've only promised the next 3 to 4 years on PlayStation for Call of Duty, or the next 3 years, whatever it was, which is something that isn't surprising. This is probably brings them to the end. Xbox offers, okay, it's even better than that. Sony's Jim Ryan argues that Xbox offers to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for at least 6 years. For some reason, I was thinking 3 to 4, but 6 years, that being inadequate. Which, at the end of the day, they don't even have to keep it on there at all, but they are, because they know how much money it's going to make them. And Jim Ryan is saying the deal is inadequate and that he only went public because Phil Spencer went public. Well, Phil Spencer had to, kind of go public with this because the CMA was asking for more information. So he put out this blog post to get people understanding what they were trying to do with the entire thing. And he emphasized in that blog post that they are keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation. Like that was one of the biggest things, that they are going to be putting Call of Duty and these Activision Blizzard games on as many platforms as possible, and how the cloud and mobile and all that type of stuff is going to open up these games to more and more people. But to Jim Ryan, that's inadequate. And the only reason it is inadequate is because he wants the deal to be stopped. He knows how much money he's going to lose. And like I just said, with this stuff here, where is it? With this stuff here, he knows how much money he's going to have to be paying over to Xbox and Microsoft in order to keep these games on the platform. So he's scared. He is extremely scared. And it's really, really absurd when you think about some of the stuff that PlayStation has been doing over the years to even for a second think that they are a victim in this whatsoever. Because obviously they aren't a victim with all of the exclusivity deals that they've been doing. I think back to Final Fantasy all the time. I know there's way more things about that PlayStation's done with exclusive stuff, keeping games off of Xbox, just with the entire marketing deal with Call of Duty. You think about Call of Duty specifically, one of their major things was they got that marketing deal. PlayStation became the home of Call of Duty. They had betas early. They had content early. They split up the community when maps got released, when content got released. And then they also tried to stop crossplay out of all of these things, which is a huge feature right now within Call of Duty. So for them to sit back and say that what Microsoft and Xbox is doing is going to hurt them, it's inadequate, all that type of stuff, it's crazy. And maybe Jim Ryan walked into the boardroom on Monday and they told him, Jimmy, you stop this deal or we stop your paycheck. You don't have a job anymore here. And maybe that's what's going on. You never know. You never know. They're cutthroat in these big businesses, and so who knows? But at the end of the day, this deal I still think is definitely going to go through. And I think that keeping Call of Duty on the platform for even another year is more than adequate for Xbox to do that. But they're going to keep it on for much longer than that for these marketing rights. And you know what? Here's the thing too. It's like the marketing right now for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is still on PlayStation. They're still getting the open beta first, or the closed beta, whatever you want to call it. They're still getting the beta first. And they're still going to have all the marketing rights for it for, I would say, the biggest Call of Duty in a very, very long time. It's all going to be marketed towards PlayStation. And there's still going to be a lot of people out there that play this game on PlayStation this year. They're not even going to care or think about Xbox or Modern Warfare 2. They're not going to make that switch now because the deal hasn't gone through. Obviously, it's not on Game Pass yet, and a lot of people may not know. There's a lot of people out there that probably don't even know that Xbox has acquired or is in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard. So they're still going to get all of this revenue from Modern Warfare 2, one of the biggest Call of Duty releases ever. Just because it's a remake of one of the biggest culture-changing, like influencing video games of all time. If you played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 back when it came out on the 360 and the PS3, it was insane. It was like the only game people were talking about, and it created an entire culture. So now they're remaking it, and that's gonna be huge. Like, you're gonna have new players jumping in, you're gonna have all the people with the nostalgia jumping in, and then you're gonna have the people who've been playing Call of Duty since then still playing it. A lot of them won't even know, because if it's the only game that they play, they probably don't follow the industry as closely as people who play a bunch of different stuff and are always on, like, you know, gaming Twitter, all that type of stuff, are always looking to see what's going on within the industry. So that was the biggest thing this week. That was the biggest news when it came to this deal. I feel like there's going to be more news as we go throughout the weeks, between now and then the time eventually when this deal does go through. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? I'm sure you guys have similar thoughts. I'm sure you guys think that Jim Ryan's just an absolute idiot when it comes to this stuff. He's been pretty bad, I would say, this generation with everything that he's done. The way he's handled a lot of stuff, the way that his messaging has gone for the PS5, and just like everything with this console, everything with it, they believed in generations and then didn't. The backwards compatibility, the pricing going up. And I mean, when you think about it, here, let's just swap back to here. When you think about PlayStation, I made a video talking about this as well. This video here, so the new PS5 is, he got his hands on it. He did. Austin Evans is, when he made this video the first time, and the title was "The New PS5 is Worse," and the amount of backlash he got for that, basically saying that it runs hotter because they cut the heat sink, that he was worried that potentially it could hurt the lifespan of the PlayStation 5, which, I mean, it's a pretty logical conclusion to come to, that if a computer of any sort runs hotter for a longer period of time, the lifespan is going to be reduced. It is going to be affected. So that's what he was saying. Got tons of backlash on that. And he did another test on the heating here of this PS5, the newest, the last PS5, and then the first PS5. And it seems like the middle PS5 is probably the worst of them all. One you don't want to get. I wonder if they're going to be releasing a new one every single year. But yeah, he did this unboxing. He tore apart the new PS5. It is lighter. It's, I mean, essentially the same sound, same noise. I mean, the PS5 itself isn't loud, but the disc drive, when you put a disc in that thing, is the most horrendous sound of, like, it's so bad. It is really, really bad. That's the only thing. But the disc goes in, it loads for like a couple seconds. It's super loud, and then it's a quiet console. But yeah, the biggest change here, some changes on the plastic, slight changes on the heatsink, and the wattage for some reason was a lot less when he did his comparison of the wattage between all three of the consoles. So there is definitely some small improvements here with this new PS5. But I mean, it's a console that they've raised the prices on multiple different regions, and people are still buying. People are going to keep buying this console, which is why they raise the prices. They know that the demand is so high that it doesn't matter. They can raise it by another $10, $20. People will probably right now go out and still buy it, which is just crazy to me. It's actually crazy. The brand and consumer loyalty that PlayStation has built up, even with a generation right now where objectively the PS5 is the worst console. It just is. Everything about it is worse. The power, the build, the size, honestly, even the content, because Game Pass is so good. And 2022 was a down year, but Game Pass is still so good. I'm always playing stuff. So right now, it's just like overall, you have more stuff to do on Xbox, and most people play third-party games. So with Game Pass, that's where you'd want to be for most gamers. But a lot of them probably don't even realize that stuff. But they cut the resources, or they cut it down. It's probably going to be cheaper to make, but they've raised the prices to really increase that profit margin on these consoles. And all of this is to kind of compensate right now for a lot of the stuff going on within the industry. They're going to be paying money to Xbox for Activision Blizzard games. They are far behind when it comes to subscription and ecosystem and all that type of stuff. And they know moving forward, console exclusivity isn't going to be the way to succeed. Therefore, they have to catch up. And one way to catch up, or to reduce the hurt, I guess, is to do things like this. Make sure you're always increasing that profit margin, because their investors want to see that continuously increase. And we're seeing this. But at least this time, so far from what we can understand, the new PS5 is better.